right, welcome everybody back to another episode of the Big Doug and Carmi Show, your one-stop shop for all things Commanders. Very excited today. The good man Rio Robinson is back for another visit. Rio, what's happening, my man?
What's going on, man? We are almost at that point of the off season after the schedule release where we have nothing to talk about until training camp. How y'all living though?
I don't believe that you'll have nothing to talk about for the next couple of months. I think that was wildly exaggerated, my friend.
Oh, we always find something to talk about. Even if I'm talking about absolutely nothing, that's why we ramble over here, man. That's what we do.
Talking about absolutely nothing, Rio, I was thinking about you coming on the podcast. And the first time I ever heard you, and I don't know if you remember this or not, but it was you, Kyle from the Burgundy Zone, and Adam Aniba, I think. And you this dates the whole thing, right? You were discussing the merits of long lines for the Popeyes chicken sandwich.
We were. Oh my gosh, man. Good times. Remember the world we used to live in where people were outside like a Jordan release for a chicken sandwich at Popeyes, and I was one of those people, man. Good times.
You told that story, and I remember talking to my brother. I said, that kid's got it. You watch. And then from there, George, he was out passing business cards at training camp.
Absolutely. Yeah, I remember that. Rio's come a long way, and Rio's held it down, man. I remember, Rio, you've been hustling. You earned everything you've got. I remember sitting there in the red zone lot. Rio walked by with, sign up for my YouTube page, handing that out. He's
the QR code on him?
QR code, exactly right. Grassroots, man, from the bottom. That's what, and you earned it, man. I like that shit. It's perfect, man. I love it.
There were like 5 podcasts back then. There's got to be 100
at least
now. And Rio, yours has sustained the test of time. What would you tell those 95 other podcasts to do if they one day want to be the next Rio Robinson?
Yeah, don't be the next Rio Robinson. Be yourself. I promise you. It gets stressful over here at times. But when it comes to content creation, just hit record, just hit live, be yourself. With this new media avenue that we have, we've created ways to get our voices heard to the masses without a publication, without being a part of a network. And be yourself. Like, don't try to be anyone else. Don't try to have anyone else's delivery. Do not try to sound like an ESPN sports anchor. Just be yourself and grind. Put some time into it. Like they said, I was handing out business cards with QR codes on them. I'm asking random people, hey, can you subscribe to my YouTube channel? I send a lot of emails out to get people on the show, and about 92% of them either don't get responded to or they tell me maybe at another time, even to this day. Man. But that does not stop me from continuing to send emails, shoot my shot, man, because at some point someone's going to answer or someone's going to see the motion that we've been building, and they're going to come be a part of it. Don't be afraid to be told no, and don't be afraid to talk to yourself on a live stream at the beginning of the process. Don't let the numbers drive you. Let the quality and the consistency of your content do it. That's what I would say, but I'm nobody.
As a man that primarily books the guest onto this show, there's a lot of no's, Rio. A lot of no's. And that's okay because the yeses that we've met along the way have been fantastic and make what we do here so rewarding and enjoyable. And Rio, what if you like Georgia and your natural voice does sound like a Sports Center anchor?
Yeah,
hey, if that works for you, go for it. Just make sure it's you. Make sure it's you through and through. And don't be afraid for the humbling experiences, bro. I remember Antonio Gibson. Antonio Gibson's people said, nah, you don't got enough subscribers for us right now, but we'll get back to you maybe in a year or so. And I remembered that. That's the type of thing, and I took that personally. It's the type of
like MJ, 100%. Exactly.
I got a couple I've kept personal along the way. Trying to get players is like getting kicked in the pants. You know what I'm saying? That's not a goer. Just wear that every time. It's so tough, especially when they direct you straight to the agents. Like, oh yeah, okay, never mind.
PR people be like, "Who the hell are you?" And what differentiates you from the media? Why would he be comfortable talking? It'd be funny as hell.
Now we just need the Commanders to give us press passes.
Yes, man. Yes,
That's what we got to do next year. There are a couple of us, and I like to think George and I are close to that. But there are some dudes that are respected in the business side of things that we do that should be getting those passes, and I hope it's coming.
I think that day is coming at some point because content creators have taken over. They've taken over, and they're now setting the standard. So for all of you people who use the word content creator like a slur, and you guys want to be this, and we don't care. We're just gonna keep making content and just keep growing and keep building towards something because we got a pulse of the base.
I love it. Well, listen, it's a football podcast. We might as well talk a little football, Rio. George has got a bunch of things. I love this. I asked you to send a couple of tweets that you like. We'll discuss. Before we get to the tweets, I'm just curious, out of all the moves they've made, Rio, and they've made a bunch this offseason, who is your favorite addition, not named Sonny Styles or Oweh?
Antonio Williams. I am very high on the guy we took with the 71st pick in the draft, and I think we could be living in a world where he is flirting with getting the most targets or catches for this team in 2026 because he's that type of receiver. I think he's going to be a volume guy for us. And the role that he needs to play in this offense as the number 2 pass catcher, I think he's going to have a much bigger role than people anticipate.
All right, Rio, today they dropped the official London versus the Washington Commanders October 4th game, another international game. What are your initial thoughts on that game? Colts, I don't know if that's a high-demand team, but whatever. We're going over to international play in London. Are you planning on going to the game? What are your initial thoughts on that?
George, you're already gone, right? Didn't you already get your tickets?
I already booked my ticket. I bought my flights. I got my flights under control. You got the tickets now.
Okay, big money.
George don't play around. I'll tell you that much right now.
I see you, big money. He already got the flight booked. He's already
George does not play around.
Pulling up the Tottenham Spurs.
It's an easy sell to the wife. Let's go to London. We're not going to say no to that, so it's all good there.
And to piggyback off of something you said, it's not a big draw, the Indianapolis Colts, and that's why that's the team we're playing in London, because if you're going to lose a home game at Northwest Stadium, lose it to the team with the least traveling fans of all of the teams on your slate for 2026. It's exciting to see us on international fronts again. Last year, I like to act like it didn't happen. I like the Men in Black zap myself from memory because that game, we all woke up at 9:30 to watch that circus of a football game.
Not some of us. George was there, Rio.
Oh, yeah.
Madrid was legit. Madrid was a really good time out there. I mean, the whole city, the vibe, the whole town was taking over, but that game was awful. You're exactly right, Rio.
Yeah, he was over there eating tapas with Chris Moore and shit. Like he was doing
and jamon. Everyone got that jamon over there. Yeah.
Jeremy Reeves billboards on the stadium. Was that stadium as cool as it looks on TV?
Absolutely, dude. It's fantastic. And the best part about it, because you go to games, Rio, and I'm a season ticket holder too. We go to these games, and like FedEx Field, they have that big concourse where you're trying to walk around. The best food you can get is at like Guy's Fieri's chicken tenders or whatever it is. And so their food isn't that great. But in Madrid, at least the tickets that I had a private little suite for you. So you walk on in, stadium's dope. It's weather contained, so it was covered. There's a private bartender, private food right above you, private bathroom as well. This is dope. It was awesome. You felt like those Euro leagues were ridiculous. And what people kind of sleep on was the store. The store is fantastic. They actually had a DJ within the team store. It was all Real Madrid gear. It was all NFL gear. It was awesome. It was dope. And it was a line of 5,000 people to get into that store. But I kind of slid up into the front, got right in there. It was dope.
And the one thing they do over there is take care of the grass, man. You talk about paying money on those fields. I wish they'd start doing that here. And I got a feeling on our next stadium, they're going to do something revolutionary with the field.
Yeah, we'll see, man. We'll see what's up.
It's going to be beautiful, man. I know it's going to be way better than this weak-ass Bills stadium that's about to open up this year.
It didn't look like they added anything.
Yeah, it looks like they just, hey, look, guys, new state. They put a filter on their old stadium.
Exactly.
That's right.
There's nothing
That's right.
defining about that stadium at all. It's pretty ugly, man. So
Look at us. We're tough. We're built for it tough. We don't put roofs on our stadium. We're going to play in the snow because that's who we are. Like, good for you guys.
Yeah, cool, bro. Cool, bro.
Never host a Super Bowl. Congratulations.
I prefer my Lamborghini running on a fast truck.
Yeah, me too. Me too, man.
Real quick, this London game, that could be a pretty good Colts team, actually. They got a chance to win that division.
Mm-hmm. They're good. And I'm more concerned. I wonder what's happening after the London game. We about to get that nasty week 5 bye.
Yeah.
I thought I read somewhere that they get in the teams that get the overseas games get an option of playing the Monday night game after instead, or taking a bye week. I don't know that for a fact, but I've seen
I heard
that
it's an option. I heard it's an option now. I heard like essentially back in the day it was almost like a definite you get the week off of the bye afterwards, but I heard now teams can kind of negotiate and be like, hey, I can either take the bye now or later is what I've heard.
Because a bye week in week 5 is brutal.
It's pretty tough.
That's 13 consecutive weeks of barbaric sport. Like that sucks.
So that does not sound favorable to the home team.
Real. That being said, we talked about the London game on week 4. You know, the schedule release will be coming out tomorrow. Are there any big games that stand out to you that kind of pop to you? And do you think we're going to get a lot of love nationally in regard to primetime games? I don't necessarily think so, but I'm curious about your thoughts.
I think there's going to be more 1:00 kicks than there were last year, but I think with the existence of Jaden Daniels, we're still going to get some primetime love and standalone games. So I do expect to see us in primetime at minimum 3 or 4 times.
All right.
And as an old man, I appreciate the 1:00 games. Last year was brutal for a man such as myself.
Oh yeah, it was, and then the way that we lost those primetime games, it felt like a humiliation ritual about halfway through the season. Like, please make it stop. Please flex us. I was begging the league to flex us off primetime.
That Seattle game was rock bottom, man. It's getting blown out. Jaden hurting his elbow. It was ugly. Being on that field or watching the game like at home, it was like watching like training camp. It was like we couldn't stop anything. We're disorganized. It was ugly altogether. So terrible stuff. That being said, Rio, one of my favorite things about you, and I love actually watching this from you and watching your feed, is you're all about the numbers, man. That's it's really funny. I think you're like the number aura dude. You're the chief of that. So I think it's hilarious. What's your initial takeaway looking at the rookie numbers? Let's start off with that first. 52% of Styles.
I gotta get a jersey that says #numbers matter on the back of it.
Numbers matter.
Numbers really mean something to me, and they meant something to John Madden too. So I'm not the only crazy out there. But I wanted Sonny Styles to wear number 6 because he looks nothing like a traditional linebacker. He looks like a freakazoid. The 52 has already grown on me. He's so uniquely put together that he even makes 52 look small on him. He looked like a damn created player walking down that hill for the first day of rookie minicamp, man. Maybe I need to see him on the field with the rest of the veterans and stuff, but that doesn't look like any build I've ever seen play the linebacker position in the history of football.
And he's only 21. He's going to fill out more. He's 21, 245 pounds. Imagine him at 26, 27, filling out all the way, be legit. That's crazy.
It feels like the Wemby of linebacker positions, like something you're just not used to seeing. But 52, it's a traditional linebacker number, you know. I'm not gonna say he's Keenan Robinson or Jamin Davis or Preston Smith or Ryan Anderson because he's wearing it. It doesn't mean he's Ray Lewis or Patrick Willis, but some greats have wore the number before, so I'm cool with it. It's a linebacker number. It ain't nothing too freaky, so I got over it about 5 minutes after looking at the graphic.
And that was
I would have preferred him in 1.
Number 1, that would kind of dope. Actually, single digits are always that's fresh for real.
6,
but I was gonna go ahead.
6 was just the one I liked because I seen him in it before and it worked in college before he got the block 0 number. What were you saying?
Well, the 0 would be wonderful. That'd be top choice, but somebody's already got it.
I was going to say, Rio and Doug, you guys don't have any PTSD by looking at, when I see 14 Antonio Williams, I want him to cook, but like deep down in my heart, it's like that Ryan Grant, that Trey Quinn. I kind of feel that a little bit. I just hope they can break through. You guys don't feel that at all?
Ryan Grant. Yeah, Ryan Grant actually wasn't a bad football player, man.
That's
Ryan
true. That's
Grant
true.
used to get
That's
busy
true.
for him. But I don't think about either of those guys because I see what and Antonio Williams is the player I'm most excited about that we added other than Sonny Styles and Wade this offseason because I said as soon as we drafted him, in David Blau's offense, we need an inside-outside versatility demon to play that Amon-Ra St. Brown role. Might as well hop into 14. So he fits that 14 like a glove for me, and I think it's going to be a treat to watch him in his rookie year. But these numbers, I love. Diami said, I'm leaving with something. There was one single digit we didn't know about because Rashad White and Amik Robertson had already breadcrumbed us that they're wearing 1 and 2, and I have thought about both of those decisions, by the way. But Diami grabbing the number 6, he said, I'm not wearing no damn 80s number 19. So good for Diami, man.
I like White number 1. I like White number 1.
I think Williams is going to be a more prolific Jamison Crowder. That's why. Remember how Jamison just got open, and you'd say, "How did he get open like that?" I think that's who this guy's going to be. Just the guy that gets open in as much zone as defenses probably have to play next year against a healthy Jaden Daniels. Right? Like that's what you don't want is his legs whooping you, so you kind of sit in that zone. That's what he does is just pick those things apart. So I'm excited about it. I was worried that the graphics kind of messed my man top left up because it looked awful close to 21. And I was like, ooh, who'd they do that to?
Yeah.
Creighton Allen.
But it's not. Is Junior Galette the last guy to wear 48?
Junior, oh my God, I forgot Junior Galette. You can't say his name too loud on social media or bots just appear and jump you on the top line.
He was going to come on a couple of times when the big
W. He wear 48 or 58?
I don't know. I thought
it was 58. It was
58. Yeah. Chris Horton was 48. It's a lot, and Stephen Davis back in the day.
Okay.
So Chris Horton, I can't think who else had it. Like, didn't a safety or linebacker have it recently?
Chris Horton was the last person I remember in Stephen Davis. So the only 248 I can ever remember in the history of that, Bud Dupree on other teams. No one wears 48. That's one of those numbers you throw to the 53rd man on the roster that plays right wing on the punt team.
That's a bottom of the pile jersey right there, unfortunately, Chris.
Sick looking jersey, but the way he moves, I'm cool with it, bro.
He's good for 3 or 4 sacks this year. I'm with you, Rio. As one of the guys that, if you're not just going to talk about the main picks, that dude from Tennessee has got it, I think, and I think they kind of stole him. Also, it took me a second to realize who bottom right was. I don't know. I just didn't see quarterback when I looked at him. I was like, who the hell is this guy? Oh, yeah.
They got him running the ball. They got him looking like Brandon Banks running the football. And I know me, the way my mind works, I was pissed that all the offensive players didn't have a color jersey on and the defense didn't have a separate color jersey on. Also, it's by position on the right graphic instead of in numerical order. Those things bothered me immediately, but I find something to get mad at about everything. I don't know. Maybe it's a little bit of neurodivergence in me, but it bothered me seeing those things when I first saw the graphic.
Interesting out of rookie camp, George, I noticed is quarterbacks are wearing black jerseys this year instead of the yellow pennies, which I think is kind of cool.
They're clean.
Absolutely. I think they're clean jerseys. They're
going to die in July, though. They might have to pull the yellow ones out for July and August because they're going to die in them Jones when
they're fresh. They're fresh. They're going to be hot for sure. Romel, what's up? He said Ryan Grant ball for us. Rio, I feel the same way.
Remember what
balled out is aggressive, but he wasn't a bad football. He wasn't Trey Quinn.
You remember what happened to Ryan Grant, though? They had the opportunity. They were going to sign him in Buffalo. He went up there to get a big deal. And right before he signed it with I believe it was Buffalo, they got OBJ or one of those guys, or it was Hollywood Brown that they signed instead. And he never got any of that money because he had kind of balled out the year before. He was supposed to get a big bag up there.
It was Baltimore. I swear it was Baltimore.
Or it might have been
Baltimore. Baltimore sounds about right. Baltimore sounds right, actually.
Yeah, they reneged on this deal, kind of like the Max Crosby situation. It was
that's right. That was the guy. You're right, Rio.
Exactly right.
Because he was on his way for the cash, and they said no.
Yeah, he was about to get him a little payday, man.
Meta said put that piece in 27. I think he got 41. He actually looked pretty good in 41. I saw a picture pop up the other day. And then Meta says Rio's ornery because he's like an alligator that lost his toothbrush, is what he said. I don't know what's up with that. But he got you over there.
Why is the alligator? So you know what that movie that is, right?
Huh?
No, I have no idea.
That's a line from The Water Boy when he's
that is from The Water Boy.
with the big KFC teacher looking guy. And he's like, Mama said, because alligator ain't got no toothbrush.
Rio, before we move on, is there any free agent that stands out to you more than the other? Like anyone of the Popsy? Like
Jimmy Settle got his 97 back.
Yeah, he did get it. Numbers wise,
50,
I like
talent wise, but yeah.
54 said see you later.
Yeah, the main characters here, I love it. Seeing Amik in the practice jersey moving around in 2 yesterday made me feel a lot better about the number. He looks like a number 2. And Van Jefferson, his jersey number is probably going to Brandon Ayuk if he gets added to this roster because he's not making the final roster.
I can see that.
85 for Chig is perfect. Witherspoon, that's a cornerback number. Crossing 25 is fine, but I love Owe in 98. He's going to look like 2026 Brian Arakpo. Yeah, I know they got the same bit. I like it, man. I like it.
Shout out to Okonkwo. It's 85 like Vernon Davis. They're both Maryland guys. So maybe kind of
I love the 85 on a tight end. And then the biggest one, of course, Rio, from a prognosticating standpoint, 54 gone, I think, tells us all we need to know about
Bobby,
the green dot from last year. Shout out to Bobby, who was great when we needed him to be.
So I think go ahead.
The stripes on the helmet are clean. That's all I was going to say about that.
They've been killing these photo shoots and stuff.
So I saw the tweet you put out. I think Rio put it out, and Doug kind of talked about it too. Obviously, he kind of has that quarterback one aura right here. I kind of like the vibe he has over here. Looking try to be ice and cold over here. What are your thoughts on him? Do you think they have a big year for Trey? What are your thoughts on him?
I know everybody keeps being comfortable with this. They didn't really need corners in Minnesota. The corners aren't the main character of the defense notion. Yeah, that's not a notion I'm comfortable with. I'm not comfortable saying that. I need Amos to be a guy. I need Mikey to look closer to year 1 than he did in year 2. And I need Amik Robertson to turn up for us. I need that room. I need the secondary to be good. We can't just say we got pass rushers now and our front seven's lit, so it don't matter who's in the secondary, because I see the receivers that are on our schedule this year. Cornerbacks absolutely matter. And we have to start creating turnovers, and we have to give Jaden a chance. Jaden's 12-0 in games where the team allows 24 or less points. Let's allow 24 or less points in games this year and watch how 5 shines. So you look like a CB1. I want to see you play like one. I want to see you stay on the field this year. Trey Amos has the entire cornerback one aesthetic that I desire out of player. And if anyone's going to do it of our corners, he's the guy that has to be the guy in that group. If not, we're going to be looking for a CB1 in a year.
They put good draft capital into the secondary.
No, back-to-back second rounders.
Yeah. And I mean, they drafted the safety. What's his name? Yeah, I mean, that was the second round, right?
Yeah, so we have Quan, Mikey,
the last 3 years, they put money in draft capital into the secondary, so it'd be nice to see it. I'm with you, Rio. If things went according to plan, everybody that we thought would be there was gone, like a Sonny Styles. Like Monsieur Delane made so much sense to me when people were saying, we don't need corners. I thought the same thing you did, Rio. Like, have you looked at the division recently to see the wide receivers that play in there? Because I think more than one boundary corner might be nice.
Yeah, it would be very nice. And I think the bigger choice was going the entire draft. We're not drafting one single member of the secondary. So what they're telling me is that they're a lot more comfortable with what we have in the secondary than fans believe. And I hope they're right, because that was most certainly a choice. At free safety and at corner, not taking a single one and waiting till undrafted free agent land to take one. That I hope that does not come back to bite us in the ass, but I'm going to trust their judgment, and I'm going to trust that Durante Jones is going to put these guys in positions to succeed, unlike the last defensive coordinator.
For whatever it's worth, when Bram was on, he told us he expects them to add more corners and more receivers before we get to training camp, right, George?
Yeah, 100%. I think they will. I think they're not necessarily I don't think they're 100% comfortable with them right now. They added Antonio Hamilton, so I wouldn't be surprised if they add another cornerback later on in training camp. But I'm interested to see where Trey Amos goes. But like Rio, I don't know if I'm 100% comfortable yet because Amos is legit, but we haven't seen him for 17 games yet. And I love Mikey. You know that, Doug. I love Mikey. I just don't know. He had a bad year last year. Is he truly going to be a CB2? We'll see what's up there. Meta, he said, y'all buried the lead. Netflix QB. We're going to talk about that in a minute.
Saving the best for last, my guy.
Saving the best for last. And then one more thing to talk about over here. I'll go back a slide because I want to see what Rio has to say here. We have Tim. He said, Doug and Carmi, what do you guys think about week 1? Give me the Eagles. I'm tired of playing them at the end of the season. Stop putting a third of our division game at the end of the season. Let me go back to the actual teams again that we play. Do you guys have a preference who we want to play week 1, Doug or Rio?
I think I saw one of the leaks earlier today. I think
Falcons, right?
Yeah, Cowboys, Giants. So you don't have to worry about those two.
Cowboys and Giants are on Sunday Night Football. You know, they like to close the season and start the season with divisional matchups. And while that could lead people to think we're playing the Eagles week 1, I think we're going to be one of the couple non-divisional matchups.
I agree.
My prediction was Falcons 1 o'clock home, 1 o'clock kick to start the season. We'll get to that primetime stuff and the divisional stuff a little later.
I think
it could be Saints too, right? Saints would not be a bad way to start the season.
I don't think we played the Saints this year, do we?
This year, yeah.
We don't play the Saints
this year. Who's that last on the bottom line?
It's the Cowboys and it's Titans. That's what
Tennessee. Yeah, Tennessee. I can see us going up to Tennessee.
That's what I was going to say. I think they're going to end the year. I actually like the way they end the year with the NFC East and going through them because it's fun. Because in theory, you're going for a playoff and the tournament, right? The tournament, yeah. So about all that, but I think going into the year, we don't have that cachet, that swag to get that primetime game because we had a bad year last year. We got to be real with ourselves, right? So I think Falcons might be one, or that might be the Titans where they do like Cam Ward. They might actually hype it up. Going back to that, what Meta said with the Netflix QB, Cam Ward's on Netflix QB. He's on that show, right? It's a number 1 overall pick. It's Jaden Daniels' number 2 overall pick. It could be hyping that up a little bit and building up that stream. So I thought I saw a leak for Falcons, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's Titans over on week 1. That being said, we all know that I'm a Maryland guy. I think we need to add up to our wide receiver room a little bit. I think I know the answer to this, Rio, but I'm going to ask you and I'm going to talk to Doug about it too. Stephon Diggs, good counsel native. He went to University of Maryland, shine in Buffalo. He has some off the field, curiosities. He definitely has some interests, and we have some things over there. But he's a damn good player, man. 1,000 years last year, wide receiver 1 on a Super Bowl contending team. Rio, would you welcome Stephon Diggs to DC?
I know a BBL hate to see him coming, but what Diggs does on the football field is unquestioned. I think his football character is unquestioned. I wouldn't mind having Diggs here at all. I think Diggs, Antonio Williams, and Terry, that's as good a room we had since Pierre, Deshaun, and Crowder when Kirk was throwing for 4,900 yards here. But I don't see AP and company signing Stephon Diggs. But I do think the stuff that is attached to Diggs is a lot more normal and commonplace around NFL players. And I don't like it's what pro athletes just be moving like that, man. They be running through these oddly built BBL IG demons, and he be all over it. And it's even more high profile because with Cardi B now, y'all not ready for training camp mic'd up, presented by Northwest featuring Cardi B. Y'all ready for that to see her at practice? But
Doug, go ahead.
No,
Sorry, finish up. I was gonna say, Doug, what are your thoughts? Are you pro Stephon Diggs? How you feel about him?
Cardi B got his life in order and he came to play last year. I know that.
That's true.
I would definitely take him on the squad. I mean,
easy.
Just from a straight receive. I mean, I don't care how old he is. I'm actually not sure how old he is.
32.
32. I mean, so what? He's basically the same age as Terry, right? Like, if you assume Terry's got a couple years left on the tires, then I think he does too. He may be. You add him to the receiver room, he may be the best wide receiver in that room right now. I'm sure people watching will want to argue for Terry, but
they're
I don't think it's that close. Like that dude was balling last year.
All off the dogs, because our fans don't want to hear stuff like that. It would be the first time we actually had a receiver that is as good, if not better, than Terry in the room. And I agree with that take. Come on now, he had 85 catches for 1,000 yards in an offense where he wasn't featured. You know, he was out there
60%
less
of the
than,
snaps.
yeah, he was out there less than 60% of the snaps, and he still had a thou wow, still had 4 touchdowns and 85 catches. And don't let people tell you he wasn't open in the Super Bowl. He was super open in the Super Bowl, but Drake May was out. He had other plans for that day.
And I don't think he cost a ton. I don't think they paid him a whole lot of money, did they?
Yeah,
he had a big. That's why he got released. He actually had $29 million due to him, and the Patriots. That's the misconception. Everyone's saying that they cut him and he's bounced around. No one really wants Stephon Diggs on his team, but he had a $29 million cap hit, and the Patriots wanted to keep him, but they wanted him to restructure his deal. And he was like, "I'm not doing that." And basically, they're like, "All right, well, if you don't want to restructure, then you're out." And that's why he's a free agent right now.
And it was easy to cut him too when they had the impending court case.
Yeah.
But we found out that that was, he never had a chance to lose that. That was crazy. Like,
exactly.
I was watching that trial. Lord, that woman was on the trial. Anything that was crazy. Hey, shout out to Diggs for getting through that. He just got his girl back. Him and Cardi was in DC. He was definitely open to playing for us. I just don't know if we're open to bringing him in. I think our plans are Jaden's boy that hasn't played football in 500 days.
What does the room look like if it's Terry, Stephon, and Brandon Ayuk, and then Antonio Williams? Because they've got, there it is. Thank you, George. They've got the money for it. It does definitely look like he bought like a burgundy and gold watch there. I'm just saying.
He got the track jacket on with no shirt underneath. Like, you know, I need to know. I need the hey man, I gotta
receiver one vibes.
I gotta lock that back in. But I think Ayuk, I need to see him here to believe it.
Yes.
I know what Diggs is. Diggs is ready to show up and go to minicamp right now. Ayuk situation, Ayuk may not get released till right before the season starts.
Like September 1st. Yeah.
I just want to act like he doesn't exist until he's active and available to play. Because even if he does get here, he could start the season on some type of list because he hasn't played. He hasn't played
like
football
in 2 years, right?
October 2024. He hasn't caught a touchdown since the NFC Championship 2023. And we're
crazy.
now in 2026.
Would you kick the 49ers a 6th round pick next year just to be over with this?
No, absolutely not. Because I'm not going to reward bad behavior. You're hard pressed on winning a public divorce, then lay in it. Then cool. Whenever y'all are ready to kick that to the curb, we will be here to sign him for pennies. You're not getting anything from us. Hell no.
Rhea, one of my favorite follows as of late has been Grant Cohn. Dude, he's freaking excellent. He's so interesting. He's legit, dude. He's fun as hell to watch for the 49ers. I saw he was on your show. I caught a little bit of it. Like, what were some of your big takeaways from talking to him about Ayuk, and what are your thoughts on the big picture wise? Because like you, it's funny. 49er fans think that we're thirsty, that we're dying for Brandon Ayuk. I would take him for the cheap, but I'm not fighting for Brandon Ayuk, in my opinion. Because I'll take Stephon Diggs over him, in my opinion. But what are your thoughts? Yeah,
I would sign Diggs today and just stop this stupid Brandon Ayuk wait. But
agreed, dude. Yeah,
Grant Cohn is hilarious. He's the J. Jonah Jameson of the San Francisco 49ers. Like, oh my God. Like, who his draft presser, like John Mitchell, Kyle Shanahan walk up to the podium. Yo, so why y'all be reaching every year?
That's why the Commanders won't give us none.
I know, because they think we wild out, but actually I think we'd ask better questions than some of the people that are there. But you know, the conversation for another day. But what I took away from that was the 49ers culture is not nearly as unscathed or pristine as people thought over the years. And it's not just the Ayuk situation. They play favorites, very frat boy, good boys club over there. And they pick and choose who gets preferential treatment in that building. And it sounds like certain guys and certain backgrounds, they don't prioritize as much as other stuff. But he gives a good explanation to both sides of the story, but he's like, Brandon Ayuk's a good guy. Brandon Ayuk's not a bad teammate. His teammates still care about him. And the 49ers pretty much had buyer's remorse / post-nut clarity after giving him a contract, and they tried to act on it, and that's why we're here today. So we'll see. I wish we could just stop talking about this and just sign Diggs.
Agreed.
But
I agree. My last question about, go ahead, Doug.
I was just gonna say that's the squad right there. And imagine rolling those three out next season.
And I'm so excited about Antonio Williams that I don't even need all this.
You're high on Antonio Williams. That's interesting. I'm like slowly. I'm intrigued, but I'm not necessarily as high as him on you. But maybe you're right. I'm interested to see what's going on.
I think he's going to be really good for us, man. I think, especially given right now, he's the number 2. Him and Chig are the 2 pass catching options outside of Terry. He could get really high usage. Like, just for example, Luther Burden last year for the Bears, he didn't really have to be utilized to about week 8, week 9 because they had more. They had a doomsday, 2 backs, 2 really good tight ends, and he still gave them 660 yards and a couple touchdowns and a good amount of catches. He should have more than all of that because he's more important from day one here. I'm not saying he's coming out like Emeka Egbuka, but I'm also saying he may come out like Emeka Egbuka for this team because
that'd be great, man.
He's not going to get the attention that Jaden has not had a sudden separator yet in his 2 years in the league. A guy that is always open, flashing hands, and a guy that when he catches the ball can actually make something happen with the ball in his hand. And he is all of the above. He might just be everything we need, and they may be higher on this room and the young talent in it. And that's why they're just sitting and chilling with the Ayuk and the Diggs thing.
And by all accounts, he's a hands catcher, which I like.
Sure is.
I'm going to say, Mitch Fischler said it the other day. I love that. Last thing on this, Rio and Doug, I've been kind of preaching this online often, right? So Ayuk, Stephon Diggs, there's supposedly baggage, right? But for me, I don't have any hesitation bringing them on because, for one, football players are alphas. They're trying to be athletes. They didn't ask to become role models. They're athletes that are shining, right?
Yep.
Do you think we can absorb them in this so-called brotherhood that we have? Do you have any hesitation on bringing them on, or do you think, hey, they don't have to be choir boys? We've been having choir boys for years. We haven't seen those success from it, in my opinion. What are you guys' thoughts on that?
My thoughts on it is, if this culture and this brotherhood is as nearly as strong as you try to force us into hearing every press conference, every breakdown in the HUD. If that culture is anything like you tell us it is, then having Brandon Ayuk or Stephon Diggs on the team, first of all, they are not locker room problems. They don't cause any problems on the football field with team. This is not bringing TO in. They're not bringing some locker room cancer in the building. If they can't stomach adding Diggs or Ayuk to the roster, then maybe we just don't have the right guys here.
I agree wholeheartedly, bro. Doug, what are your thoughts on that?
Oh, I agree. The last podcast we did on Monday, we spent like a third of the show talking about how brotherhood is the word that they want to use so much. If you can, and to Rio's point, these aren't guys, that are beating up the locker room and doing shirtless push-ups in the middle of the driveway. You know what I mean? Like, these guys, by all accounts, come to play business. They're professionals. And what's going on with Ayuk, I think, is a one-off. When's the last time you've seen a situation like this where they're like, F you, he's like, here, take the money back, whatever it is, I just got to get out of here. And then they're like, nah, never mind, we'll just keep you here. And it's like, let him out of the basement. You know what I mean? Like, how long are you going to keep him locked up in your basement?
Cool with it. And I'm okay with a little diva from a receiver sometimes. Sometimes you need to stomp your feet and wave your hands at the quarterback because he didn't see you. I don't mind that.
Divas, wide receivers and corners, no problem.
And I don't mind a little crazy and edge rushers too. I don't mind a little, have a little some off. Kind of bring it a little bit. Right there.
Yeah, I need a little off.
Yeah, you gotta be a hunter, a predator out there, in my opinion.
Hunter and a gatherer. You don't gotta
you get that sack. You have to get that ball. That being said, Meta left. He asked to talk about quarterback. Here we are right here. So this is dope, man. I think it's kind of awesome. Some people might be kind of against this for the exposure and potentially, hey, Jaden Daniels is being too much. But I don't see that by any means. He's kind of been a low-key kind of to himself type of player. What are your guys' thoughts on Jaden Daniels being on quarterback? I think my initial thought is we saw like the one difference between quarterback and what's that, Hard Knocks. Hard Knocks goes in the locker room. Hard Knocks is the team. It goes into like the big, like how the team is constructed. Quarterback is more like, we're going to see Jaden Daniels at home studying. It's going to be more personal. It's going to be more like intimate. So I don't think it's going to be a distraction. What are you guys' thoughts on that?
I think that they've already shot it. I think.
Yeah, it was last year. It was last year's thing.
So
yeah.
I want to see how he dealt with mentally. I want to see what the competitive nature and how he put himself back together, because last year was cursed for us, man. 4 games with injury. The team was disappointing. Everybody's getting hurt. I want to see. I remember seeing Mahomes begging to be back on the field when he hurt his ankle. I remember seeing Kirk. He couldn't stop. Like, he couldn't function because he kept thinking about this pass that he missed in the fourth quarter of a game. You really get to see the personal at home and the way that they prepare. Kirk was actually a good character both times.
Yeah, he's quirky. He's interesting.
His mental and physical preparation, all the things that go into being a professional quarterback, that it's not an easy job at all, man.
No, dude.
No. All the while being told how terrible you are and how much you suck, even while you're doing everything humanly possible not to suck, right? It's like, thanks a lot. I know that's why I'm working all this time on it. That's Andy. Andy, we know that George is going. I'm working on it, and we'll see about Rio. I'm sure one of Rio's many fans will just pony up for his ticket to England.
I would love to be.
Andy Burrow, International Fan of the Year, man. Dude, you've had him in a generational run right now, and I hope you're having a good time. You're at the draft. You hit the draft pick out there. It's awesome. I saw you on CBS recently. That's dope, man. And
that
Andy,
was so cool. Announcing the pick. That is so dope, man.
That is dope. Yeah. And then Andy, real quick, I booked my hotel in the Mercure in London, so we got to talk about this. So you got to show me where to go and what to do.
He heard me say Tottenham Hotspur on my
Tottenham Hotspur. Yeah, so it's funny. So
I can't do a UK accent without somehow falling into like an Australian. I don't know why.
Or Harry Potter. I always refer to Harry Potter too.
I turned into like Steve Irwin for some reason. Back in my Harry Potter prime, I could kill a UK accent, but now I can't do it, man.
That's
shout out to Andy, man.
What's up, Andy?
Big shout out to Andy, one of the original content creators that we met way back when. It's do you think having this one means you brought up Hard Knocks? Do you think doing this means we don't have to do Hard Knocks? Do you think
we're not going to be Hard Knocks again.
Yeah.
Man, we maybe another year or two down the line, we could get it like the summer version where we're by ourselves and isolated on there. I think it's funny how they snuck Joe Flacco on there, because I get Cam Ward was the number 1 pick. Cool that we get to see a rookie quarterback on a TV show with access like this. And Baker Mayfield is such a personality. I see how they snuck Joe Flacco on this list, man.
They have like a formula, right? They have like a superstar. They have like a wily veteran. They have a rookie. They have some sort of like mid-vet. Like Hughes Mariota, actually, I was going to say Flacco is like the old Mariota, where he's kind of like a bench player coming off the. Remember, that's how Mariota fell off in the Falcons. He walked away at the end of the season,
and they showed it on quarterback. Then when he went AWOL on the team, the only thing I need to see Flacco is the unction game where him and Rodgers went crazy that way. Other than that, I don't really need to see too much Joe Flacco, man.
Who has the best aura out of all 4 of these players? I mean, we want to say Daniels. Do you think Daniels hands down, or what do you would think?
Easily 5. It's 5.
Okay.
Not even close. I want to know more about Cam Ward, though. Like,
I don't know anything about him. I know people say Baker Mayfield's one of them dudes too, though.
Oh, he's hilarious. Oh, he's the biggest personality easily on the show. Right. He's must-see TV every time a camera's in front of him. But I want to know if Cam Ward is an interesting personality. So.
He's a very quiet 101, right? Like no one really knows much about Cam Ward. Like I don't know much about him. Like, we all follow sports. We all follow him. He has that upside. He has that creativity, but I don't really know about his personality at all. And I agree. I think Baker Mayfield's going to have the most airtime out of all these players. Like,
and I wonder when the recordings stop too. Like, are we gonna get like Jaden playing flag and then preparing this off season since this year, or does this cut as soon as the season ends? Because I know in the other seasons they cut after the Super Bowl. Like we were watching Mahomes win a Super Bowl and then the season cuts. So
let's see what's up next. All right. That being said, we're moving over to the depth chart. So Washington, Doug and Rio, what are you guys' thoughts on the team right now? Like, what's our biggest areas of growth? Are we better as a roster this year compared to last year? What are your thoughts on that?
Oh, easy. This is easily the best roster Jaden's had in his 3 years of being a Washington Washington Commander, I think it's by far. Like, we drug a not good roster to the NFC Championship in 2024. We added some things in 2025, but not as much as we should have. And Adam Peters learned from his first 2 off seasons and aggressively attack. If the defense is not significantly better this year, we just need to start this whole thing over because they went out and made the biggest weakness on the roster one of its strengths now. And we go out and get Sonny Styles and Leo Chanel. We go from an older, slower linebacker core to possibly the most athletic in the league and 2 of the most athletic profiles ever at the linebacker position. If the defense isn't competitive this year, I don't know what to tell you. While people say we didn't do enough for Jaden, I think adding Rashad White, Katron Allen, Antonio Williams, Chiga Okonkwo, De'Ami Brown, and potentially another person in Antonio Williams, I think we have enough offensively. I've seen Jaden work with less. We have more, and he's in a big boy offense now. The depth chart, I'm cool with. What will tell the entire story of the 2026 Washington Commanders is how good are these damn coordinators, because they're both first time.
Doug?
Well, I'll say this. They put together what I think is maybe a top 5-ish, top 10 offensive line, like if they stay healthy. It was interesting to hear, when Chris Paul didn't get really picked up, and I think he thought he had a big market, and Mitch was on Monday and was like, well, I think teams realize that playing right next to Tunsil makes you look really good. That being said, he had a good year last year, right? So, I mean, outside of the center position, it's a little unknown. That offensive line is a beast unit. And then I'd look at the other side of the line. Look at the depth they put on this defensive line last year. Like something that really was not a strength. That's what they did this year, and Rio kind of hinted at it. They really went out of their way this year to make all of their weaknesses kind of a strength. And I just think they've got way more depth now than they've ever had. And to your point, Rio, they certainly, if nothing else, have the fastest linebacker crew. And don't forget, they had Luvu's hand in the dirt last year, like letting that maniac run around, just doing more of like the Micah Parsons role, I think is going to be wonderful.
Rio, are you cool with Krosky Merritt as RB1?
Oh, yeah, I'm with it, especially I think we have all the ingredients you need to have a good backfield. We have a change of pace back in Bill. You got the utility pass catching back in Rashad White, and I think you can't sleep on. They could throw a ton of passes to Rashad White. He can catch and he can run routes. And Katron Allen adds that thunder, that north to south guy who plays in front of his pads. I think we have all the ingredients that we need. And if Jerome Ford or McNichols are called up and make the roster at some point, we know what they could do on a football field. Jerome Ford could be a lot of teams' RB2, and McNichols has been a huge part of this team over the first 2 years. So I really like the backfield. I think Krosky Merritt could be 1,000-yard back.
Me too. Damn. This system, I think, is going to do wonders for a bunch of different players, obviously 5, but I think the running backs in general. And look, Zach Ertz should be commended because he was steady hands, got open for Jaden, found soft pillows, right? Like I'm not here to take anything away from Zach Ertz, but we haven't had a Chig Okonkwo since maybe Vernon Davis, and we really got Vernon later rather than earlier. You might have to go back to Jordan Reed to find a guy that is going to be able to get the kind of yards after contact that Chig gets. Now, remember, I forget who he sat down with for an interview, maybe Kay, because Kay loves the Commanders and interviews all of them. But basically he sat down with Blau and watched the tape of what they had been doing and what they want to do. And he was like, I've never, watching the tape, he's like, if this is what I'm going to be in, I've never been this open in my career because somebody's always been focusing on me. And he noticed that hole for tight end. And I think he's, of all the people they brought in, I think he's in for a huge year.
I'm excited. I can see. I wouldn't be surprised if he's second in our targets behind Terry McLaurin. I think Chig Okonkwo is going to be fed a lot, so we'll see how that goes. And I'll be really curious to see what happens with Antonio Williams as well. That being said, my last question, because I got to go in a couple minutes. Looking at the wide receivers, what are your thoughts on Luke McCaffrey and Jalen Lane? Because they're very polarizing people in our fan base. Jalen Lane get that punt return, kick return kind of element to it. Luke McCaffrey has that pedigree with him, with that family, but he hasn't really showed that much. He was injured last year too. So what are your thoughts on those two guys?
It'd be funny when people say that too about Luke. Luke's showed more in 9 weeks
than Trey Burks,
in like De'Ami Brown ever showed in a regular season here during his entire career. But De'Ami's romanticized like he's this 800-yard guy when De'Ami has 1,000 career yards in 5 seasons, and it's not due to injury. He's just out there not producing. But I don't really think Lane or Luke are polarized. I think they were both roster locks. Those are guys that were drafted in the 3rd and 4th round. They both are good at special teams. Luke McCaffrey had 200 yards and 3 touchdowns in 8 weeks and got hurt. He was on his way to having a better season than Burks has ever had, better season than De'Ami's ever had. So Luke and Lane are not the polarizing guys in this room. They both have a carved out niche for this team in 2026 and beyond. There's nothing polarizing about either guy to me. They're both going to be a part of this thing.
And we say this all the time. That was the number 2 kick return leader in yards last year, only behind Deebo Samuels, right? And if he hadn't got hurt, he was killing it. So anybody that thinks particularly the importance that they've put on the kick return game recently, I mean, that makes McCaffrey a lock in and by itself because of the kick return ability. And then with Jaden Lane, it's the same thing, right? He is an explosive punt returner that can take it to the house at any time. Those 2 guys are people you need on your team.
You got to force punts to let him do his superpower. But this last thing, just to close it up, I know you got to go, Carmi. Luke McCaffrey in 8 weeks last year caught more touchdowns than Treylon Burks caught in his entire career. I just want
He was on a chair.
Just saying.
All right, Rio. Thank you, buddy. We appreciate you. Continued success to you, man. You're crushing it.
Always, man. I appreciate y'all, man. Y'all be easy.
All right.
All right, fellas.
Yes, sir.